Let's talk about making better decisions. I mean, really, truly brilliant decisions. Today, we're diving into the mind of one of the greatest investors ever, Charlie Munger, and we're going to unpack his powerful system for judgment. Now, this isn't just about being a little bit smarter. This is about a fundamental upgrade to your brain's operating system, something that can change how you look at every single choice you make.
But first, let's start with a question that really bugged Munger. And honestly, it's one we've all wondered about. Why do incredibly smart people, I'm talking CEOs, leaders, maybe even ourselves sometimes, make such epically bad, fatal mistakes? The answer, as Munger figured out, is actually surprisingly simple.
And this quote right here, this is the absolute heart of Munger's entire philosophy. What he's saying is that the secret to getting amazing results isn't about having these random flashes of genius. No, it's about systematically, consistently avoiding stupidity. The real game isn't about trying to win big all the time, it's about making sure you stay in the game by not losing badly.
So, to avoid those foolish errors, we first have to understand where they come from. I want you to imagine your brain is this incredible supercomputer. But here's the catch. It came preloaded from the factory with some really buggy software. These are our cognitive biases, and they're like these little glitches running in the background, messing up our judgment when we don't even realize it.
Okay, so one of the biggest bugs is something called social proof tendency. This is that deep primal instinct to just follow the crowd. You know, when it seems like everyone is piling into a hot new stock or jumping on some popular trend, our brain just screams at us, hey, you should do it too. But as we all know, following the herd can sometimes lead you right off a cliff.
And then there's this monster, loss aversion. This one's wild. It's been scientifically proven that the psychological pain of losing, say $100, is roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure you get from gaining $100. This bias makes us do totally irrational things. We'll hold on to a failing project or a bad investment, not because it makes any sense, but just to avoid that gut punch feeling of admitting we messed up.
And listen, these two are just the tip of the iceberg. Munger actually identified and cataloged over 25 of these mental glitches that are constantly twisting our perception of reality. We're talking everything from being way too confident to blindly trusting authority figures. Our brains are just, well, they're hardwired to make these kinds of mistakes. So what's the fix? You can't just delete these mental bugs, right? They're part of our wiring. But you can install a better operating system to work around them. And that's exactly what Munger's mental toolkit is. It's a practical set of tools designed to help you debug your own thinking. Munger's whole toolkit really rests on three big ideas. First, you've got to build this broad framework in your mind. Second, you need to master just a few super powerful thinking tools. And finally, before any big decision, you run a simple checklist. So let's break down what each of those really means.
So the first tool is all about not being a one-trick pony. Munger had this famous saying, to the man with only a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Instead of just having one tool, you need what he called a latticework of mental models. You need to pull the big important ideas from all different fields, psychology, economics, physics, you name it. This lets you see any problem from a bunch of different angles, and that gives you a much clearer picture of reality.
Next up are the power tools, and Inversion was Munger's absolute favorite. It's brilliant. Instead of asking the normal question, how can I succeed, you just flip it completely on its head. You ask, what would absolutely guarantee that I fail? And by thinking about all the things that would lead to disaster, procrastinating, being unreliable, never learning anything new, the path to success suddenly becomes incredibly obvious. Just don't do any of that stuff.
And finally, there's the anti-stupidity checklist. Think of this like a pilot's pre-flight check before you make a big move. Munger would literally ask himself these kinds of questions. Am I playing inside my circle of competence, the area I actually understand? Have I really thought about the absolute worst thing that could happen? Am I making this call because I'm emotional or just exhausted? It's a simple but incredibly powerful way to prevent a disaster.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this is all great wisdom from a brilliant guy, but how does it apply now in our world of AI and algorithms? Well, that is a fantastic question, because Munger's system is probably more critical right now than it has ever been. Let's dig into why.
You see, AI is a serious double-edged sword. On one side, it's an unbelievable tool. It can analyze huge amounts of information in the blink of an eye. But here's the peril. AI can also be a massive amplifier for all those mental bugs we just talked about. If you already have a bias, an AI can create the perfect echo chamber, feeding you a non-stop stream of information that confirms what you already believe, whether it's true or not. And this really gets to the most important point for all of us today.
AI is a co-pilot. It is not the pilot. It can crunch the data, it can spot patterns, but it cannot exercise judgment. Munger's system is what gives you, the human operator, the framework you need to use this incredible technology wisely, to question its answers, and to never, ever give up that final responsibility for your own decisions.
So let's just end with this thought. The default operating system our brains come with, it was designed for a much, much simpler world. And in today's age of AI, information overload, and really complex problems, that old software is just prone to making fatal errors. Munger's system isn't just a collection of tips, it's a full-scale upgrade. So the only question left is, isn't it time to install it?